the final of the ATP finals played in Torino, Italy. Jannik Sinner v Taylor Fritz, the two players with just a bit of pre-match training hitting. This one. Well, these two players played in the same group round, in the same group of the group round of the tournament, rather, and Jannik Sinner won by 2 sets to love. Taylor Fritz won the other 2 matches in that group, and both players into the semi-finals on the Saturday, and then on the Saturday, Taylor Fritz won in quite the semi-final in 3 sets via Alexander Zverev, and Alexander Zverev had won 3 out of 3 in the group round, and Jannik Sinner won by 2 sets to love v Casper Ruud for today's final of the ATP finals of Jannik Sinner v Taylor Fritz. Quite the fan base at this tournament as well for the final. So this match about to start in the next 1 to 2 minutes. So the ATP finals in Torino, Turin, Italy. Taylor Fritz with the first service game of the match. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, hits the top of the net a bit. So a left serve. So another serve at least on this point for Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a central serve and an ace in the first point of this final. So 15 love. Taylor Fritz with an ace in the first point in the match. On this Taylor Fritz service game, first service game of the match. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve with depth, and then backhand to backhand. And Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left, further forward, and it's a winner. So 30 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and Jannik's in a backhand return and backhand to backhand. Then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand and then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the left, and it's a winner. And it's a winner, rather. 30-15. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, and Jannik Sinner returns, then forehand to forehand. And then a second forehand from Taylor Fritz, struck to the right, just hits the net. So 30 all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and Jannik Sinner with forehand returning further forward. Taylor Fritz with a backhand to left, and Taylor Fritz at net, and Jannik Sinner returns. And then a volley to the right by Taylor Fritz with a bit of depth, and then Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the right just hits the net. So 40-30. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and then Jannik Sinner backhand return, and then forehand to forehand with depth, and then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each, and then Jannik Sinner with a backhand to left just hits the net. So that's the first service game of the match maintained on serve in the first set after the first service game from Taylor Fritz in this match. So Jannik Sinner service game, next service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, and it's an ace. So 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, and it's an ace. So 30 love. Two aces in a row for Jannik Sinner with wide serves on the last 2 points. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand return to the left just out after a serve with depth from Jannik Sinner. So 40 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre of the box, then backhand return Taylor Fritz, and then forehand to forehand. And Taylor Fritz's forehand to the right is just out. So that service game is maintained. So on serve after one service game each. 1-1 on serve in the first set. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and then Jannik Sinner backhand return with depth, and Taylor Fritz's backhand hits the top of net and over net, and then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the left just out. So 15 love. Taylor Fritz a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's backhand block return just hits the net, so 30 love after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, and it's an ace, so 40 love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner a bit of forehand on it onto the ball, but can't get the ball much further. So 2-1 Taylor Fritz on serve in the first set. So Jannik Sinner. So Jannik Sinner service game on serve in the first set. Jannik Sinner reserves to the centre of the box with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand return. Jannik Sinner forehand with depth to left. Taylor Fritz returns, and Jannik Sinner a forehand shot to the right with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand lob return just out. So 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve, and it's an ace. So 30 love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve just out. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a central serve, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz backhand return. Jannik Sinner strikes one to the right, bit of depth, and then Taylor Fritz with backhand slice return. And then Jannik Sinner further forward strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. Winner, rather. So 40 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz with backhand return. And then Jannik Sinner strikes another forehand winner to the left on that point. No break points at this point in the match, and both players maintaining serve all right. So 2-2 on serve in the first set. Taylor Fritz with wide serve. Jannik Sinner forehand return. Taylor Fritz backhand bit of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return. Backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. And Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right with depth. And Jannik Sinner a forehand return with depth. And Taylor Fritz a forehand to the left with a bit of depth. And then backhand to backhand. And then Taylor Fritz further forward strikes a backhand to the right, but just out. So love 15. Some shots with depth from Taylor Fritz on that point, but all right enough returning from quite the returner server, Jannik Sinner. Taylor Fritz for a serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with centre of the box, a bit of depth, and then Jannik Sinner backhand return with depth, and then forehand to forehand of 2 forehand shots each. 3 forehand shots each, and Jannik Sinner's third forehand is struck to the right, and it's a winner. Love 30. Well, 3 forehand shots each in that rally, and on the third, Jannik Sinner forehand on that point. Jannik Sinner striking a forehand winner to the right. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner with a forehand return, but can't get the ball much further. 15-30 after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and Jannik Sinner maybe with a bit of backhand on the ball, but can't get the ball much further after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz on that point as well. So 30 all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz with forehand bit of depth to the left, and then backhand to backhand. Second Jannik Sinner backhand, and then forehand to forehand, and Jannik Sinner's forehand to the right just hits the net. So 40-30. Taylor Fritz a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand return just out after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz, and it's 3-2 Taylor Fritz on serve in the first set. Both players maintaining serve all right enough. Had an amount of rallies and ball striking in points, but no break points at this point in the match, and both players maintaining serve all right at this point. Jannik Sinner service game. Second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner a serve to the centre of the box with depth, and Taylor Fritz returns, and Jannik Sinner strikes right to left. Backhand return Taylor Fritz. and then forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner with a forehand bit of depth to left, and then backhand to backhand. Second, Taylor Fritz backhand, and then Jannik Sinner forehand, Taylor Fritz backhand, and then forehand to forehand with depth. And then Jannik Sinner with a forehand to the left, just out. So love 15. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth. Taylor Fritz with a forehand block return. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand return just hits the net. So 15 all. First serve. Anyway, Jannik Sinner with a wide serve and an ace. So 30-15. Fourth ace of the match for Jannik Sinner at this point. From serves, Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Fritz backhand return with depth, and then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. 3 backhand shots each. 4 backhand shots each. 5 backhand shots each. And then Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to left with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz strikes another forehand to left with depth. And Jannik Sinner returns another one. And then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right, but just hits the net. So 40-15. $16-shot rally on that last point. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve of depth, and Taylor Fritz with a forehand return. Jannik Sinner further forward strikes a forehand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner at net, and then Taylor Fritz with a backhand passing shot to the right, just out. So serve maintained at this point of the match. 3 games all on serve in the first set. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's backhand block return to the right, just out after a central serve with depth from Taylor Fritz. So 15 love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve depth, and then Jannik Sinner with a forehand return, and then Taylor Fritz with a backhand just hits the net. So 15 all. Serves with depth and shots with depth and ball striking in rallies. Some points Taylor Fritz with a central serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a central box there, a bit of depth, but Jannik Sinner a forehand return with depth. Struck to the left on that returner serve, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand to the right after that, just out. So 15-30. Jannik Sinner striking a forehand returner serve to the left with depth off that Taylor Fritz serve. 15-30. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and then forehand to forehand, and then backhand to backhand. Second Jannik Sinner backhand, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left just out, and the first break points of the match are for Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with the first break points of the match. 15-40 at 3-all in the first set. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and Jannik Sinner forehand turn, and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the right, and it's a winner. So 30-40, wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner returned it, but then Taylor Fritz on the next shot struck a backhand to the left and struck a winner with it. So 30-40, breakpoint Jannik Sinner. 30-40 on this Taylor Fritz service game at 3 games all on serve in the first set. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, and it's an ace. So Taylor Fritz saves the first 2 break points of the match. So juice. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box over depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand return, a bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand, and then forehand Taylor Fritz, and Jannik Sinner strikes backhand to left with a bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand, and forehand to Taylor Fritz to the centre with a bit of depth, and then after a shot or so, backhand to backhand, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right with a bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand, second Jannik Sinner backhand, and then forehand to forehand, and Jannik Sinner's forehand to the right is a bit out, so add point for Taylor Fritz to potentially maintain the service game and still have this first set on serve. Taylor Fritz, after saving 2 break points on this service game, 18-shot rally on that last point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns with depth, and then forehand, and then a backhand from Taylor Fritz to the right, just out, so juice. Probably the most competitive service game this one at this point in the match. This Taylor Fritz service game at 3-all at this point in the first set. Taylor Fritz with a central serve just hits the net. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a central of the box serve just out. That's 2 serves missed. And Jannik Sinner with Jannik Sinner. Add point for Jannik Sinner and a third break point for Jannik Sinner on this Taylor Fritz service game at 3-all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve on this point. Taylor Fritz with the centre of the box serve, and Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz strikes one to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner backhand side turn, and Taylor Fritz strikes number 4 to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz a volley in there, and then Jannik Sinner on the forehand, and then backhand side turn by Taylor Fritz, backhand slice, another backhand slice, Taylor Fritz, then backhand to the right from Jannik Sinner with depth, but it's just out. So juice. Just over 5 minutes. This Taylor Fritz service game at 3 games all on serve in the first set. Juice. Taylor Fritz with a central serve and an ace. So add point for Taylor Fritz after an ace serve to the centre. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner returns with depth, forehand, then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each with depth. 3 backhand shots each, and Jannik Sinner strikes a third backhand to the right with a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz's forehand shot return after that to the left is just out, so juice. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. And Taylor Fritz with the centre of the box serve. Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the left with depth on that return of serve. And Taylor Fritz a backhand slice, can't get the ball much further. So fourth break point for Jannik Sinner on this Taylor Fritz service game at 3-all. Backhand return, struck with depth off returning that last Taylor Fritz serve. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner, backhand turn, bit of depth. Backhand Taylor Fritz, and then forehand Jannik Sinner. And then backhand to backhand. Second backhand Taylor Fritz, and then forehand drop shot to left by Jannik Sinner, and it's a winner! Jannik Sinner with a forehand drop shot to the left. Basically a winner with that shot. And Jannik Sinner leads the first set with a breaker serve at 4-3 Jannik Sinner in the first set. And quite the fan base at this tournament, and Jannik Sinner, as well as quite the returner server, a home player in this tournament in the home nation in Italy for the ATP finals in this tournament. Quite the fan base for Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner leads with a breaker serve in the first set. So Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner leads with a breaker serve in the first set at 4-3 Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and an ace. 15-love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return to the left, just hits the net. So 30-love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve and an ace. 40-love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve and two wide serve aces in a row, or two aces in a row, at least for Jannik Sinner. to maintain serve, and Jannik Sinner maintains the breaker serve lead at 5-3. Jannik Sinner. 5 games to 3 to Jannik Sinner in the first set, maintaining the breaker serve lead. Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz a wide serve depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return just hits the net after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz. So 15-love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner a forehand return to the right is a bit out after a serve with depth to the centre from Taylor Fritz. So 30-love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve on this point for Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand return to the left, just out after a serve with depth to the centre from Taylor Fritz. So 40-love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with a bit of slice and an ace on it to hold that service game. Jannik Sinner leads with a breaker serve at this point in the first set at 5 games to 4 to Jannik Sinner. So Jannik Sinner service game. So Jannik Sinner service game with Jannik Sinner leading with a breaker serve at 5 games to 4 to Jannik Sinner in the first set. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz backhand return. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right with depth. Taylor Fritz forehand return with a bit of depth, and then backhand to backhands with depth, and then Jannik Sinner forehand, and then backhand to backhand. Then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right with a bit of depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return, and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand slice shot return. And then after a forehand with depth by Taylor Fritz with depth, and then Taylor Fritz strikes another forehand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand slice return on that shot, but that just hits the net. So love 15. After forehands to the left, struck from Taylor Fritz. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and an ace. 15-all. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz a backhand return, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box over depth, and Taylor Fritz turns them further forward. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner at net, and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand parting shot to the left, and it's a winner. So 30-all. Taylor Fritz striking a backhand passing shot winner to the left. So 30-all. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve and an ace. 40-30, and set point for Jannik Sinner to potentially lead this final by 1-0. Ninth ace of the match for Jannik Sinner at this point, 5 for Taylor Fritz. Set point Jannik Sinner, 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, just hits the net. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, bit of depth. Taylor Fritz backhand turn. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's just out. So deuce. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a central serve, bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz turns, and Jannik Sinner forehand. And then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left, and it's in. It's a winner, and it's a break point for Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz striking a backhand winner to the left. In that point, Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand return, can't get the ball much further after a wide serve with depth from Jannik Sinner on that point. So deuce. Jannik Sinner with the centre of the box over depth. Taylor Fritz forehand block turn, forehand Jannik Sinner, and then Taylor Fritz with a backhand just hits the net. So second set point for Jannik Sinner on this Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, and it's an ace. Breaker serve lead maintained in the first set for Jannik Sinner. And Jannik Sinner leads this final by 1-0. Game and set, Jannik Sinner, 6-4. So Taylor Fritz service game at the start of the second set. Taylor Fritz just won a point, so 15-love. First service game in the second set. Taylor Fritz with a central box serve with depth, and then backhand to backhand. And then a second Jannik in a backhand, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left, but just out, so 15-all. Taylor Fritz with a central serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a central box serve, and then Jannik in a forehand return with depth, and then Taylor Fritz forehand with depth, and then after a shot or so, Jannik backhand to backhand of two backhand shots each, and then Taylor Fritz strikes forehand to left, and then Jannik Sinner strikes forehand return to the right, and then forehand to forehand, ball striking of two shots each or so, and then a third forehand from Jannik Sinner to left with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand slice return, and then Jannik Sinner with a forehand drop shot to the left just hits the net, so 30-15. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with a bit of depth, and then forehand to forehand of two shots each, and then backhand Jannik Sinner and backhand slice Taylor Fritz, backhand to backhand Taylor Fritz, and then forehand Jannik Sinner and forehand with depth from Jannik Sinner, and then Taylor Fritz with a forehand slice return to the right just out, so 30-all. Taylor Fritz with a central serve just out, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, bit of depth, and then forehand to forehand. Two forehand shots each, and then backhand Jannik Sinner with depth to the left just out, so 40-30. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner a bit of forehand racket on it. Can't get the ball much further after a central serve with depth from Taylor Fritz on serve at the start of the second set, with Taylor Fritz maintaining the first service game of the second set. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve of depth, and Taylor Fritz a forehand return, but then further forward, just by net, Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So 15-love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and an ace, 30-love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and an ace, 40 love. Jannik Sinner, the central serve, bit of depth, and then forehand to forehand. Then second forehand struck to left from Taylor Fritz, just out. So serve maintained from both players at the start of the second set. 1 game all on serve at the start of the second set. Taylor Fritz, a very wide serve, just out. So second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve, and then Jannik Sinner forehand return with depth, and Taylor Fritz shot, and then Jannik Sinner forehand, and then backhand to backhand, off 2 backhand shots each. And then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right with depth, and Jannik Sinner forehand return to the left. But then Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand return shot can't get the ball much further, so 15 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve, just hits the net, so second serve for Taylor Fritz on this point. And Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve, and then backhand to backhand, and Taylor Fritz's backhand to the right just hits the net. So 15 all. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve and an ace. So 30-15. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's backhand return just hits the net after a wide serve with depth from Taylor Fritz. So 40-15. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out, so second serve on this point. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, a bit of depth, and then backhand to backhand. The second backhand Jannik Sinner, and then forehand to forehand, and Jannik Sinner's forehand to left just out. So serve maintained at this point in the second set. 2-1 Taylor Fritz on serve in the second set. So, Jannik's in a service game. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth. Taylor Fritz with backhand turn and further forward. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left with depth, and Taylor Fritz with backhand lob return just out. So 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth and Taylor Fritz with forehand return. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right and it's a winner. So 30 love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth and Taylor Fritz for backhand slice return. Jannik Sinner further forward with forehand struck to the right with depth, forehand to forehand, and Jannik Sinner forehand and backhand to backhand. And Jannik Sinner's backhand to left is just out. So 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth and Taylor Fritz backhand return with depth and then forehand to forehand with depth. Two forehand shots each. Taylor Fritz second forehand struck to left with depth and Jannik Sinner returns another forehand struck to left with depth from Taylor Fritz and Taylor Fritz net and Jannik Sinner a forehand return and then Taylor Fritz at net with a forehand volley to the right just hits the net. So 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Taylor Fritz forehand return and Jannik Sinner a backhand to the left just hits the net. So 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth and then forehand to forehand of two forehand shots each. Third forehand from Taylor Fritz and then backhand to backhand of two backhand shots each. Three backhand shots each and Jannik Sinner's third backhand to the left with a bit of depth and then Taylor Fritz with backhand to left after that just out. So two games all on serve at this point in the second set. Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz just won a point, so 15 love. Two games all on serve in the second set. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand block return over the net. But then at the net, Taylor Fritz with an overhead smash to the left, and it's a winner. 30-love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve, hits the top of net and a bit out. So second serve on this point for Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a centre of the box serve just out. So two serves missed. So 30-15. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth and then backhand to backhand, and then Jannik Sinner beforehand struck to the left with depth, and Taylor Fritz with a backhand slice return a bit out after a forehand struck with depth to the left from Jannik Sinner in that point. So 30-all. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth. Jannik Sinner returns to the forehand. Drop shot to left, further forward from Taylor Fritz, and just hits the net. And it's a break point for Jannik Sinner. 30-40. Break point for Jannik Sinner at 2 games all in the second set. 30-40 on this Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's forehand return just hits the net after a serve with depth to the centre from Taylor Fritz. So juice. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's forehand return. Backhand from Taylor Fritz, forehand Jannik Sinner, forehand to forehand. And then forehand Jannik Sinner, and then backhand to backhand. Backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. And then forehand to forehand. And then backhand to backhand. And Jannik Sinner's backhand struck to the right with depth. And Taylor Fritz with a forehand slice shot. Can't get the ball much further. And another break point for Jannik Sinner on this Taylor Fritz service game at 2-all in the second set. Taylor Fritz, a central serve with depth. Jannik Sinner returns, and Taylor Fritz forehand. Then backhand Jannik Sinner, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the right, just out. And Jannik Sinner leads with a set and a break at 6-4, 3-2 Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner leads with a set and a break. And in the second set, Jannik Sinner leads the second set with a breaker serve at 3-2 to Jannik Sinner. So Jannik's in a service game. Jannik's in a service game. Jannik Sinner with a central serve just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner leading with a breaker serve in the second set. And Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve and then forehand to forehand off 2 shots, forehand shots each. And then a third forehand from Taylor Fritz struck to the right, just out. So 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with a bit of depth. Taylor Fritz forehand return, then backhand to backhand. One backhand shot each, and then Jannik Sinner with a second backhand to the right, just out. So 15 all. Jannik Sinner with a central serve just out. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with a bit of depth, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand return to the right, just out. So 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just hits the net. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand return with depth, and then Jannik Sinner with backhand return and forehand drop shot to left by Taylor Fritz, and Jannik Sinner with a bit of backhand slice on it, but can't get the ball much further. 30 all after a forehand drop shot to left from Taylor Fritz. Basically won that point for Taylor Fritz. So 30 all. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and then backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each. 3 backhand shots each. And Jannik Sinner's third backhand is a winner, struck to the left. 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just hits the net. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve and then backhand to backhand, and then second backhand to the right from Taylor Fritz. Just out. Breaker serve lead maintained for Jannik Sinner in the second set. Jannik Sinner leads by 4-2 with a breaker serve in the second set. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner's backhand return. Then Taylor Fritz further forward strikes a backhand to the left, and it's the winner. 15 love. Taylor Fritz a wide serve depth, and Jannik's in with a backhand return, and then further forward, Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand winner to the left. So 30 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve and an ace. 40 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve just out. So second serve on this point. Taylor Fritz for wide serve and then backhand to backhand. And Taylor Fritz's backhand to the right, struck with depth, and Jannik Sinner's forehand return just hits the net. That service game maintained, but it's Jannik Sinner that leads with a breaker serve in this second set at 4-3. Jannik Sinner in this second set. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz for forehand return and further forward. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's the winner. 15 love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out, so second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand with depth on that return. Then a bit after that, backhand to backhand of 2 backhand shots each, 3 backhand shots each, and then forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner's forehand is just out, so 15 all. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth, and Taylor Fritz a forehand return, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. 30-15. Jannik Sinner with a Wide serve just out, so second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve and then backhand to backhand, and then Taylor Fritz strikes a backhand to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand slice return to the right, just out, so 30 all. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve and an ace, 40-30. Thirteenth ace of the match for Jannik Sinner at this point. 7 from Taylor Fritz in this match at this point. 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth and Taylor Fritz with forehand return. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the right, a bit of depth, and then Taylor Fritz with forehand struck to the left. Returning that, and then Jannik Sinner with forehand after that, just out, so deuce. Jannik Sinner with a central serve with depth and Taylor Fritz with a backhand block return, but then further forward out of there, Jannik Sinner with a forehand drive volley to the right, and it's a winner. So add point for Jannik Sinner on the next point. 25 winners from shots at this point of the match for Jannik Sinner and 16 for Taylor Fritz. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and an ace to maintain that service game. Breaker serve lead maintained for Jannik Sinner, and it's 5-3 to Jannik Sinner in the second set, with Jannik Sinner leading with breaker serve in the second set. Taylor Fritz service game. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand block return just out, so 15 love after a serve with depth to the centre from Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a backhand block return, and then at the net, Taylor Fritz with an overhead smash to the left, and it's a winner. So 30 love. Taylor Fritz with a wide serve with depth, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand slice return. Then further forward, Taylor Fritz strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 40 love. Taylor Fritz with a central serve with a bit of slice, and it's an ace. That service game maintained, but it's Jannik Sinner that leads with a breaker serve in the second set at 5-40. Jannik Sinner, and one service game next potentially for Jannik Sinner to maintain to maybe potentially win the ATP finals. Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with potentially one more service game to maintain potentially to maybe potentially win the ATP finals. Jannik Sinner with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Jannik Sinner on this point. And Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth and Taylor Fritz for a forehand block return. And then further forward, Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right. And it's a winner. 15-love. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth and Taylor Fritz with backhand block return and a bit further forward. Jannik Sinner with a forehand struck to the right but hits the top of net and just out after that. So 15-all. Jannik Sinner with a central serve just out. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a central of the box serve and Taylor Fritz strikes forehand return depth for them. Forehand Jannik Sinner and then backhand to backhand. 2 backhand shots each. 3 backhand shots each. 4 backhand shots each. And then Taylor Fritz a forehand to forehand. And then backhand to backhand. Second backhand Taylor Fritz and then Jannik Sinner a forehand. Drop shot to the right and it's a winner. 30-15. Well, after an amount of backhand to backhand and forehand to forehand in that rally, Jannik Sinner with the last shot at the point with a forehand drop shot to the right and hit a winner with it. So 30-15. Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve just out. So second serve on this point. Jannik Sinner with a central serve and then forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner's forehand struck to the left with depth and Taylor Fritz with backhand slice return just out. It's 40-15. It's 2 match points potentially for Jannik Sinner to win the ATP finals potentially. Two championship points. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with a bit of depth and then backhand to backhand. Second backhand Jannik Sinner and then Taylor Fritz a forehand to the right just out. Game set and match. Jannik Sinner 6-4, 6-4. Jannik Sinner wins by 2 sets to love and Jannik Sinner maintains the level to win the ATP finals in Turin in Italy in the top 8 end of season tournament. And this quite returner serve Italian player wins the top 8 end of season tournament in his home nation. Jannik Sinner wins by 2 sets to love. 6-4, 6-4.